Have you ever felt that nagging sensation of being stuck?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that feeling where you desperately want to change something in your life,
Yeah.
maybe a habit, a relationship, or just like how you feel day to day.
Mm-hmm.
But no matter how hard you try, you just keep sliding back into the same old
Oh,
patterns.
so frustrating.
Right. It's that thought, is this it? Is this all there is?
It's a truly, well, universal experience, I think. So many of us know what we need to change,
Yeah.
but struggle with how to actually do it, how to make those changes stick, this feeling of being trapped. Whether it's a bad habit or, damaging behavior.
Or just a pattern.
Exactly, a pattern. It can leave us feeling really isolated, kind of hopeless.
It really is, isn't it? That feeling of being on a hamster wheel. You know you want off, but you just can't see the exit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's precisely why we're taking this deep dive today. Our mission is to, well, cut through the noise and maybe give you a shortcut. A shortcut to understanding why we feel this profound sense of stuckness and, maybe more importantly, how we can truly break free.
And we're drawing on some powerful insights here, right?
We are. We're diving into Dr. Nicole LePera's incredible book, How to Do the Work. Recognize your patterns, heal from your past, and create yourself.
Ah, yes. A really comprehensive guide.
Definitely.
So together, we'll unpack why you might feel disconnected, maybe reveal some truly surprising facts about your own physiology.
Yeah, the body connection is huge.
It is. And most importantly, give you practical, actionable steps, things you can actually do for genuine, lasting transformation.
And it's not about quick fixes, is it?
No, definitely not. This is about deep, consistent work that hopefully leads to real freedom.
Okay, so let's jump right in then. Dr. LePera starts her book by sharing a really personal story.
Her dark night of the soul.
Exactly. She hit 30, and, on the surface, she had checked off every box. Dream city, her own therapy practice.
Even found a loving partner. Looked perfect.
Looked perfect. Yet she felt completely, as she puts it, hollowed out, detached, emotionless.
And it wasn't just emotional, right? Her body was screaming, too.
Totally. Debilitating brain fog, persistent gut problems she'd had for years.
And those fainting spells. Really scary.
Yeah, fainting spells out of the blue. And what really struck her was how closely these struggles, physical and emotional, mirrored her mother's.
Wow. Like seeing an inherited pattern playing out right in front of her.
Yeah, that moment of recognition, seeing that connection must have been incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. And this universal feeling of stuckness, it's exactly why so many people seek change. They go to therapy wanting something different.
Right.
But as Dr. LePera learned, even through her own decade of work as a psychologist, knowing what to change doesn't automatically mean you can do it.
She experienced that herself, didn't she? With panic attacks.
Yeah, near constant panic attacks in her 20s. And even as a trained psychologist, traditional therapy, medication, it felt insufficient. It didn't get to the root cause for her.
It really highlights that even someone who, appeared to have it all,
Successful career partner,
could feel so utterly lost and disconnected. Her story is, well, it's a reflection of a widespread human experience, really. It shows this stuck feeling can affect anyone.
totally transcends outward appearances.
So, okay, if that's the starting point, where do we go from there? A huge part of feeling stuck comes down to what Dr. LePera calls our autopilot mindset.
Right, the conscious versus the subconscious mind.
Exactly. And she reveals that an astonishing, 95% of our day is spent on autopilot.
95%.
Driven by subconscious conditioning we picked up,
Yeah.
often way back in childhood. We're just going through the motions.
And this autopilot, it's essentially your brain's deep-seated preference for the familiar. It's often called the homeostatic impulse.
Homeostatic impulse, okay.
That brain wants to conserve energy, right? And the safest, most efficient place is when you've already been, because it thinks it can predict the outcome.
So it resists change, even good change.
Exactly. That's the surprising part. Your brain doesn't just resist bad habits. It resists any change because familiar feels safer, even if it's harmful.
How does that show up?
Well, it can manifest as mental resistance. Those cyclical thoughts like, oh, you deserve a break, right? When you're trying to stick to something new.
Or physical discomfort.
Yeah. Physical discomfort, agitation, anxiety. We see this really vividly in the example of Jessica, one of her clients.
Oh, yeah.
She was trapped in her monkey mind, you know that term.
Constantly jumping thoughts.
Exactly. Seesawing between extreme thoughts about her relationship, couldn't access her intuition at all. Her mind was basically screaming at her, pulling her back to what felt familiar, even though it was damaging.
Wow. It's like your brain is literally trying to keep you in your comfort zone, even when that zone has become really uncomfortable.
Precisely.
So as you listen, you might start identifying your own autopilot moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how your brain might be resisting change, urging you to just stay put.
It's a really key awareness piece.
Okay, so another big piece of understanding our patterns is looking at trauma. But maybe with a wider lens than we usually use.
Yes, this is crucial. Dr. LePera really challenges the narrow, conventional definition.
She shares her own childhood, which she always viewed as normal. She was a Christ child, as the book calls it, basically. Easy, compliant, well-behaved.
A good kid.
Right. But grew up with emotionally avoidant parents. Minimal physical touch, rarely heard, I love you.
And that led to dissociation for her.
Profound dissociation. She had almost no childhood memories because of it.
And this is so important because when we hear trauma, many people immediately think of extreme abuse, like Christine's story in the book, which was truly horrific abuse.
Right. Capital II trauma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But neurologist Robert Scare offers a broader definition. Any negative life event that occurs in a state of relative helplessness.
Relative helplessness. That changes things.
It broadens the scope significantly. It includes experiences like consistently feeling unworthy or unacceptable.
Yeah.
And think about parent figures. Often, unconsciously, they project their own unresolved traumas. They model problematic behaviors without realizing it.
Like denying a child's reality.
Exactly. Dismissing a child's fear of a relative, maybe denying a parent's functional alcoholism. Things like that teach children to distrust their own gut feeling, their intuition.
Wow. Or even things like inconsistent parenting, like the pseudo-selves idea.
Yes, being one way in public and totally different at home. Or boundary violations like reading a kid's diary. These seemingly smaller things can have really profound, lasting impacts.
So it's an invitation, really, to gently reflect on our own childhoods, even if they don't seem traumatic in that big conventional sense.
Right. How might those subtle moments, those feelings of helplessness or dismissal, have shaped your current patterns and beliefs? It's not about blame. It's about understanding.
Understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's where the connection between our inner world and our physical body gets, well, truly profound.
The mind-body connection.
Yeah. Dr. LePera talks about how basically every client she saw with psychological symptoms also had underlying physical issues.
Things like digestive problems.
Digestive problems, autoimmune diseases, chronic anxiety. She realized her own fainting spells weren't just random. They were a crucial signal from her body.
And this is where the body truly keeps the score, as Bessel van der Kolk famously put it.
Right.
When trauma goes unresolved, it essentially traps your body in this perpetual state of chronic stress.
Fight or flight all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Constant release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your immune system gets hyperactivated, causing inflammation all over the body.
And polyvagal theory helps explain this.
Yes. Dr. Stephen Porges's polyvagal theory is brilliant here. It explains how your vagus nerve, this huge nerve connecting your brain to almost every major organ, governs whether your body is in rest and digest mode.
The safe and social mode.
Exactly, social engagement. Or if it's in fight or flight. And there's this process called neuroception.
Neuroception.
It's like your body's unconscious threat detector. It's constantly scanning for danger. If you have poor vagal tone, often from past experiences, your body misinterprets benign situations as dangerous.
Wow. So you react as if there's a threat when there isn't one.
Precisely. Your nervous system is stuck on high alert.
And it gets even wilder, right? This idea of emotional addiction.
Oh, yeah. Your brain can actually get used to the biochemical rush of stress and fear.
So peace feels boring.
It can feel dull, yeah, even boring or unsettling. Dr. LePera shares that in her childhood home, stress and fear actually kind of bound the family together. It was a stand-in for real emotional intimacy.
So she found herself repeating that.
Subconsciously, yes. Initiating stress in her adult relationships, nitpicking when things were calm, throwing herself into panic about work. Her body was literally pulling her back to that familiar, activated state.
That's incredible. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
Have you ever connected your own physical symptoms, maybe persistent gut issues, headaches, chronic fatigue, to underlying stress and emotional patterns?
Dr. LePera's work really normalizes these often misunderstood physiological reactions. It shows us they aren't flaws, They're learned survival mechanisms.
And crucially, they can be unlearned.
Exactly. Which leads us to the hopeful part.
Yes, the incredibly hopeful news. If our bodies can learn dysregulated coping, they can absolutely learn healthy ways to recover.
This is where we get into things like epigenetics.
Right. The science showing our genes aren't destiny. They're profoundly influenced by our environment, our choices.
And neuroplasticity, the brain's amazing ability to form new pathways, to literally rewire itself.
We aren't stuck with the wiring we inherited or developed. That's huge.
It is. And Allie's story in the book is such a powerful testament to this.
Tell us about Allie.
She's diagnosed with MS, hit rock bottom. But she started small. She committed to tiny daily promises, like simply drinking a glass of water every morning.
Just building that self-trust.
Exactly. Rebuilding self-trust. Over time, she integrated significant diet changes like the Walls Protocol, along with meditation, yoga, journaling.
And the results.
Dramatic. Lost 80 pounds, her cognition improved significantly, and she achieved full remission from MS Grum. No longer needed medication.
Wow. Full remission.
It's a beautiful example of what she calls a top-down, bottom-up approach to vagal toning, using conscious practices like breath work and also engaging the voice singing, humming, which directly activate the vagus nerve and help regulate the nervous system.
It's incredible how those small, consistent choices add up. They compound.
They really do.
And there are other vital mind-body healing practices that can empower your transformation too.
Right, absolutely. First off, gut health.
Yes, we touched on this, the gut-brain axis.
Our gut and brain are in constant communication. And did you know, 90% of your serotonin, the happy hormone, is actually made in your gut?
That's amazing, 90%.
So if you have issues like leaky gut or an imbalanced microbiome, it can lead to inflammation that directly impacts your mental health, mood, clarity.
So focusing on whole, nutrient-dense foods isn't just for physical well-being?
No, it's crucial for your mental state, too.
Okay, what else?
Then there's sleep. So fundamental.
And more than just rest, right?
Way more. It's when your body does major repair work. Your brain literally clears away cellular debris. Cells regenerate. Inadequate sleep is linked to everything from depression and anxiety to heart disease and weakened immunity.
So practical tips. Consistent bedtime routine.
Yes, consistency is key. Limiting alcohol and caffeine before bed. Turning off screens well before you hit the pillow. Those things can make a huge difference in sleep quality.
Okay. Gut health, sleep, and movement.
Yes, movement and play. Physical activity helps discharge that physiological energy from stress. You literally move that built-up tension out of your body.
Get it out.
Get it out. And play, this is often overlooked for adults. Things like dancing freely, singing loudly, engaging in social games. It can actually retrain your nervous system to recover from threat more quickly.
Retrain it through joy, essentially.
Exactly. It's about re-engaging that childlike wonder and curiosity that often gets lost.
These are all concrete, accessible strategies, aren't they? Things you can start incorporating right away.
They are. It's a powerful reminder that small, consistent actions truly do create profound, lasting change. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight.
Right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the body, the nervous system. Let's shift to our inner narratives, our stories.
Our core beliefs.
Yes, what Dr. LePera calls core beliefs. These are often formed incredibly early, sometimes before we're even 7 years old.
Wow, that young.
Yeah. And these beliefs, like her own deep-seated one of I am not considered, then act like filters for our reality.
Through the reticular activating system.
Exactly, the RAS. Think of it like a personalized Google filter for your brain. It constantly seeks out and highlights information that confirms what you already believe.
Even if those beliefs are negative or limiting?
Especially then, it seems. If you believe you're unworthy, your brain will proactively look for evidence to prove it right. It ignores evidence to the contrary.
And this is where the ego steps in, right? Yeah. As the protector.
Yes, the great protector and the master storyteller. Its job is to defend these core beliefs,
right,
often fiercely.
How does it do that?
Often by denying or repressing emotions we deem bad or unacceptable, pushing them into what's called the shadow self.
The parts of ourselves we don't want to own.
Exactly. And then the ego tends to project these uncomfortable parts onto other people.
Ah, so that's why judging others can feel almost addictive.
She calls it addictive, yeah. It's an unconscious way to avoid our own internal struggle with shame. We convince ourselves we're superior by finding fault elsewhere.
So ego work isn't about getting rid of the ego.
No, not at all. It's about witnessing these stories and reactions, noticing them without judgment.
Becoming the observer.
Becoming the observer.
Yeah.
She shares a great personal example about her intense rage over dirty dishes.
Okay.
She realized it wasn't really about the dishes at all. It was her ego flaring up, defending her core belief, I am not considered.
Ah, I see the link.
By consciously witnessing her bodily reactions, the heat, the tension, and repeating the affirmation, you are considered, she learned to detach from the ego's story. She even created little rituals around doing dishes that actually made her happy.
That's powerful. Learning to interrupt the pattern.
Yeah, it really makes you think about your own reactions, doesn't it? What core beliefs might you be holding on to that aren't serving you anymore?
And how might your own egoic reactions, that judgment, that defensiveness, just be learned patterns, not, fundamental flaws in who you are?
Exactly. The power lies in choosing to witness them and gently begin to reauthor your story.
Which leads us naturally to another absolutely foundational concept.
Boundaries.
Boundaries, yes. Dr. LePera considers them the most important concept in her work.
For protection, intuition, authentic love.
All of it. She defines them simply as retaining walls. They protect you from what feels inappropriate, unacceptable, or simply undesired.
And they're not just about saying no, right? There are different kinds.
Correct. There are physical boundaries, your space, your body. Mental and emotional boundaries, your thoughts, feelings, beliefs. And resource boundaries, your time, energy, money.
And problems arise when they're too weak or too strong.
Exactly. Permeable boundaries often lead to people-pleasing, resentment, feeling drained. You take on too much.
It's in there.
Haven't we all? While overly rigid boundaries can wall us off completely, we might avoid vulnerability, push people away, fear intimacy.
Okay. And what's emotional dumping?
That's a common symptom of boundarylessness. It's when someone unloads all their negative, often circular thoughts and unprocessed emotions onto another person.
Without really asking. Or considering the other person.
Right. Without empathy or permission, it's not seeking connection or support. It's just offloading.
So how do we set effective boundaries? It sounds hard.
It can be, especially at first. But you can use clear, simple phrases. Things like, I'm not comfortable with that. Or, this isn't doable for me right now. Or even just, no.
No is a complete sentence.
It is. And Dr. LePera's own journey with boundaries really highlights how challenging this can be, particularly with family.
She started professionally first.
Yeah, that felt safer, setting limits around work hours, client interactions. But the really tough ones were with her family.
Leading up to the ultimate boundary.
Yes, a period of complete separation from her family. And the backlash was significant.
What happened?
She was called selfish. Her sister apparently shrieked at her. Her parents used guilt, reprimanded her. It was intense.
Wow, that takes courage.
It does. But she emphasizes that choice, though incredibly painful, was profoundly necessary for her own inner child, for her own healing journey.
So the invitation for you listening is, where in your life are your boundaries maybe lacking, or perhaps too rigid?
And remember, setting boundaries requires work. It takes practice. And it may disrupt others' expectations, especially those who are used to you operating without them.
Start small.
Start small, be consistent, and trust that you are empowering yourself. And in turn, you're actually offering others a choice in how they relate to you more authentically.
Right. Okay, so as we journey toward this self-healing, another crucial step she talks about is reparenting.
Yes, becoming your own parent.
It sounds a bit strange at first, maybe, but it's the process of consciously becoming the wise inner parent to your own inner child.
Meeting those unmet needs from your youth, giving yourself what you might not have received. It's incredibly empowering because it puts the power back in your hands.
So how does that work? What are the pillars?
She outlines 4 key pillars. First, emotional regulation, learning to cope with stress adaptively.
Like deep breathing, noticing sensations.
Exactly. Deep breathing, witnessing bodily sensations without judgment, creating space between stimulus and response. Second is loving discipline.
Discipline, like being hard on yourself.
No, not at all. It's about setting boundaries with yourself, making and keeping small, consistent daily promises, like Allie's commitment to her daily glass of water. It builds self-trust and integrity.
Okay. That makes sense. What's third?
Third is self-care, actively cultivating those basics. High-quality sleep, nourishing your body with good food, joyful movement, connecting with nature, the fundamentals.
And finally?
Finally, childlike wonder. Rediscovering creativity, imagination, joy, spontaneity through play.
Play again. keeps coming up.
It's so important. Dr. Stuart Brown, a psychiatrist who studies play, calls a lack of play a health risk, just like malnutrition. Dancing, singing, hobbies, being silly, it reconnects us to our essence.
Wow, so all these pillars together help us develop emotional maturity.
Yes, exactly. And emotional maturity, crucially, has nothing to do with how old you are chronologically.
Right. It's about how you handle things internally.
It's the ability to tolerate differences in others, to be at peace with misunderstanding sometimes, and importantly, to respond to your emotions physiologically, feeling them in your body, rather than getting totally caught up in the mental stories about them.
John's story in the book illustrates this, right?
Yes, he struggled with deep reactivity, even narcissism. But by committing to a daily meditation practice, he learned to sit with discomfort. Instead of immediately reacting or projecting it outward, he learned emotional regulation.
This whole reparenting journey, it really encourages compassion for ourselves, doesn't it?
Absolutely, compassion for our imperfections. And it reminds us that emotional growth isn't a destination you arrive at, it's an ongoing, evolving journey.
Okay, let's talk about perhaps the biggest challenge for many of us. Genuine connection. Relationships.
Mm-hmm. The payoff, but also the work.
Right. After setting those tough boundaries, Dr. LePera experienced intense loneliness. She was searching for her people.
And this led her to the concept of interdependence.
Interdependence. Not codependence, not independence, but interdependence.
Exactly. A two-way state of authentic connection. It requires vulnerability, mutual respect, and the ability to be both separate and connected.
And requires a regulated nervous system.
It really does. Genuine connection thrives when we are in our social engagement mode, that calm, balanced state. When we feel safe internally, we can access the collective we.
Our internal state is contagious.
Very much so. When we feel safe and regulated, others around us tend to feel safer too. That's co-regulation. It happens unconsciously.
Which is the opposite of trauma bonding.
A stark contrast, yes. Dr. LePera defines trauma bonding as essentially an addiction. Individuals seek comfort, paradoxically, from the very source of their trauma, or they unconsciously reenact painful childhood patterns.
Like inconsistent parental love.
Exactly. If your nervous system learned that love feels like chaos, unpredictability, or high stress,
Then you're drawn to that in adult relationships.
you're unconsciously drawn to stress and unpredictability because that's what your system recognizes as familiar, maybe even as love or passion.
So peace feels wrong.
It can feel unsettling, yeah. Dull, as we said before. Dr. LePera and her partner Lolly initially recognized they had a trauma bond. They were drawn to the uncertainty, the stress cycle.
Well, that they work through it.
Consciously,
Yeah.
together. They committed to building authentic love. They implemented daily routines, journaling, detoxing their bodies, showing up for each other, even when it was incredibly emotional and difficult.
It was their mutual commitment to the work.
Exactly. That mutual commitment transformed the relationship from a trauma bond into one of true interdependence. It wasn't magic. It was choice and effort.
It really prompts us to consider our own relationship patterns, doesn't it?
Definitely. Are you willing to do the internal work required to build truly authentic connections?
It inspires us to seek out genuine community, understand our patterns, and reinforces that true love, true connection isn't just a fairy tale.
No. It requires choice, conscious effort, and a willingness to show up imperfectly again and again.
So, wow, we've covered a lot. We've journeyed from recognizing that familiar feeling of stuckness to understanding its deep roots in our childhood conditioning and that powerful interplay with our nervous system.
We've explored how we can reclaim our personal power through these self-healing practices.
Courageous boundary setting.
Reparenting ourselves.
And ultimately, we've seen how this path can lead towards more authentic relationships and that profound sense of interdependence.
Yeah. And I think the overarching message that really emerges from all of this, from Dr. LePera's work, is this. Healing isn't about achieving some state of perfection.
Or finding a magical fix.
No. It's about the profound empowerment of choice.
Choice. In every moment.
In every moment, you have the ability to choose how you treat your body, how you show up in your relationships, how you interpret your surroundings, how you connect back to yourself and to the world around you.
The goal then is maybe to develop an unwavering self-trust. Trusting yourself in each moment, no matter what uncertainties life throws your way.
That feels right. Building that inner resource, that inner guide.
You've sought out this knowledge. You're listening to this deep dive. Perhaps because, as the book suggests, you're ready. The path forward is yours to create.